Hello and welcome to the Academic Support and Welfare Department. I'm Tina Abbott and I'm head of the department. We are quite a large department with a number of learning support assistants, specialist teachers, counsellors, support supervisors and welfare assistants, as well as our admin. And our aim is to ensure that every student at Long Road achieves their potential. So I do hope that by next September we are able to be on site together. But for now, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the support we offer, both academic and for mental well-being. Afterwards, you can meet one of our specialist teachers who will talk through some frequently asked questions with the help of our LSAs. If you have questions of your own, please add to the live question and answer chat and someone will respond. So in terms of academic support, we have a team of learning support assistants, as you can see in the photo, all of whom have degrees in various subjects and who may go on to become teachers and educators in the future. The LSAs are able to offer in-class support, mainly to EHC plan students as note takers and prompters. They also offer one-to-one study sessions for all students on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when there are no subject lessons. Students can email the LSA at longroad.ac.uk, or they can scan a Q code and set up an appointment, or they can just turn up and ask for support. The LSAs also offer various workshops throughout the year. For example, they may offer Level 2 Maths for GCSE retakes, or they will offer themed workshops such as revision skills, organisation skills, or essay writing skills, as well as other workshops. We also have specialist teachers in the department who work one-to-one with students with complex needs. These are typically EHC plan students, education healthcare plans, but other students can access this support. Senior tutors, specialist teachers also write up transition notes following visits to our partner schools for students with complex needs that might have an impact during their lessons. These transition notes are placed in the student's profile and are available to teachers before the start of term, which enables them to prepare or to make any adjustments in the classroom that might be needed. Specialist teachers also offer small group sessions for English as an alternative language students who are resitting their English GCSE, and they are also tutors to groups of Level 2 students and work with them to improve their study skills and improve their chances of a better grade at GCSE so that they can then go on to the Level 3 courses. All students starting at Long Road take a screening test called Quick Scan, which will alert us to any support needs or any risk factors for dyslexia. We carry out assessments for exam arrangements when appropriate, and we can lend things like reader pens and other equipment such as PCs to students who require these for exams and who use them as their normal way of working. We can also adapt materials by enlarging or with colour paper. So I've covered some of the ways that we can support students academically, but how do we support our students' well-being? Well, we have drop-in sessions every day for students who are experiencing anxiety, or perhaps who just want to talk to someone. Or a student can email the wellbeing line and someone will get back to them. We have counsellors on site every day, and a student can request a meeting by email, and they would normally be offered 6 sessions, and then at the end of that 6 sessions they may continue with another 6 if both they and the counsellor feel that that's needed, and so on, as long as they need the support. We have a lunch club every day in C12 and C14, and that is run by the learning support assistants, and any student can come along to use that. We have various social clubs, such as the online Connect Club that meets every Tuesday, and our support supervisors are always available to give practical help and advice if needed. They're normally in the student centre, but they can also be found anywhere around the grounds of the college. They're wandering around at the buses where students are, basically. Any student can be met on their first day if they feel that they need that, if they're a bit shy, if they're coming from out of area and don't know people, or even if they're just a bit anxious because it's a new place and we all get a bit anxious when we have to do something we've never done before. So you can just request that if you would like that by emailing us at support@longroad.ac.uk. And we also have a peer mentoring scheme, and this is generally run whereby a student who's doing the same subject but in the year above will connect with the student below and, you know, generally support them. And finally, we hold a wellbeing event every September for new students coming in. This is a great event and it's set up like a huge marketplace with lots of stalls, and each stall provides information and activities for looking after your own mental well-being. For example, we have counsellors, Sense 33, Samaritans and art therapists coming in. We also have wellbeing activities like yoga and mindfulness. We do drumming and sport, and we have therapy animals coming in, which students seem to love, and in fact will queue up all around the block in order to stroke a therapy dog. We've had rabbits and birds as well over the years. And we also put forward healthy eating, so there's lots of free fruit for the student. It's a great event and it encourages students to connect with each other as well as learning about keeping themselves well mentally. So this year the Wellbeing Fair was virtual and it can still be accessed on our website, so please have a look. I hope you found that brief overview helpful, and remember you can post questions on our live question and answer. Before I hand you over to one of our specialist teachers, I just wanted to remind you that we do have welcome days in June and an open evening and welcome days both in June, and we will look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for listening, and I'm now going to pass you over to Jenny, one of our specialist teachers. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jenny and I'm one of the specialist teachers in the department. First question, please.
Hi, my name's Megan and I'm one of the learning support assistants here at Longroad Sixth Form College. One of our frequently asked questions is, if I feel anxious in college, what should I do?
That is a very common question, and the most important thing is not to struggle with that by yourself. So I would really encourage you to speak to somebody, and you can talk to lots of different people about that. So you could talk to your progress coach. That's a bit like a form tutor, or you could speak to one of the student supervisors in the student centre, or you can come along to academic support and talk to one of us. Or if you find it hard to talk to somebody, then you can drop us an email, and we have a designated email address for any wellbeing inquiries and worries. So that's wellbeing@longroad.ac.uk. Next question, please.
Hello, my name is Alina. I'm also an LSA. Another frequently asked question we get is about friends. So if I find it hard to make friends, what do you suggest?
That is a good question, and lots of our students come from schools without knowing anybody else. So it is something that's on most people's minds when they start at a big college like Longroad. So there are lots of opportunities for you to make friends here. Obviously, you can meet people in the classes, your subject lessons, but otherwise you can come along to the student centre and find out about getting a peer mentor. So Tina, our head of department, mentioned that in her presentation. A peer mentor is in the year above you and would generally be doing one, if not all of the subjects you're doing, so that you've got some common ground and they can help you with any worries that you've got. Otherwise, you could come along to academic support at lunchtimes because we have a daily lunch club and there are always friendly people to talk to. And furthermore, we have a Connect Club which runs every Tuesday lunchtime, and that's specifically for students who are quite anxious and find it difficult to meet other people. Finally, though, we have enrichment opportunities too. So that might be something to do with sport or music, drama, debating, amnesty, Duke of Edinburgh, all sorts of things. So hopefully you will find that you can meet people with similar interests to yours. Next question, please.
How do I get to the college from the train station?
That's a nice, easy question. You can get the free college shuttle bus, which goes from directly outside the station to our doorstep. But if you're feeling like you needed a bit more energy, then you could walk here. It's not that far. It's quite a nice brisk start to the day. Next question, please.
Can any student access support from academic support or the LSAs?
Yes, any student can. So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 2:40 p.m. until the end of the college day at 4:10, that period is known as Study Plus, and students can come along to get help from the learning support assistants. Otherwise, you can also get some help from me, one of the specialist teachers, or Mandy, my colleague. Those would need to be booked in for you, and generally it might be a one-off session that you got, or a short series of sessions, such as 3 sessions for half an hour per week to really help you with something that you're having trouble with. Next question, please.
Do my exam arrangements transfer with me from my previous school?
Yes, they invariably do. So we liaise with our feeder schools to get as many reports from them as we possibly can. So once we've got the paperwork, then we check that over and we will put the same arrangements in place for you. Next question, please.
What help do specialist teachers provide?
So specialist teachers do a number of things. We carry out full assessments, so that would be for students whose teachers have concerns that they're not finishing exams or they're underperforming. So if they thought that you had an underlying specific learning difficulty, then we would assess you. But we also provide specialist study skills, so that they'll be working one-to-one with students. We liaise with other professionals as well to get the best support for you here at college. And we also are tutors for level 2 students, so they are our resit students who come to do GCSEs or level 2 diplomas. And we have a designated study skills programme that we run through during the year with them. So I think that's all the questions from the learning support assistant. So I'm going to hand you back over to my head of department, Tina, who I think has seen some further questions that have been coming in this evening.
Oh, hello. Back again. I do have some time to answer some more questions. So I have some questions here that have come through on the chat line. If I'm worried about starting college, how can you support me? That was one question that came in. So we can meet you on your first day. You can request that if you'd like. You can come in and get to know the LSAs in our study centre. They're always available there and they're always very welcoming and friendly. You can join our lunch club, so you don't have to feel lost at lunchtime. You can come to us and we'll show you where that is. You can get your lunch, bring it, and everybody will welcome you. And we have study skills drop-in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 2:40. That's when all subjects stop, but there is what we call Subject Plus, and at that time you could come along. And again, it's a way of getting to know other students or the learning support assistants if you come along to that. So another question that's come in then, because I do have a few minutes. So, I think we might have had, how can I request support at Long Road? Not sure. Okay, how can I request support at Long Road if I had it in my previous school? We do liaise with all our partner schools, so we would probably already be aware of your support needs if you needed something. But if you're coming from a school that's not one that we liaise with, then you can tell us about that support in your application to Long Road, or you can tell us about it in your admissions interview, or you can tell us about it when you start your course. And we would ask you for particular evidence. If you weren't able to produce the evidence, we would go to the school for you, to your old school, and try and get it. And if we couldn't get it, then we would assess you, as long as your teachers feel that that's needed. So any other questions? Let's have a look. What is study skills plus time? I think I've already covered that, but I'll say it again. So study skills plus time. So this is always on a Tuesday and a Wednesday from 2:40 until 4:10. There are no subject lessons. However, some of your teachers may set up clubs or club sessions where you can finish homework, where they might be setting a task that you hadn't quite finished in the class, something like that. But generally you're free and you can come along to the study skills sessions and you can work with us, bring work that you've got behind with or something you'd like an LSA to go through. So study skills plus time is an extra time where you can work on your subjects, prove your knowledge, get up to date with everything. So what else have I got here? What help do LSAs provide during study skills plus time linked again? Well, basically any help that you need. So if you bring a piece of work that a teacher has set you and you haven't quite understood it, or you think you've understood it and you've written some response but you're not sure if it's right, then an LSA would read it through and talk to you about what the question's asking and if your response is okay. Or you may come and need to improve, say, your maths or improve your essay writing skills, then you can come and sit with an LSA and they will work with you to do that. So I have, what help will I receive if I have an EHC plan? So we do meet with all EHC plan students when they first arrive, well, in fact, before. So we would know, coming from your school, if you have an education healthcare plan. And if that was the case, we would set up a meeting with you and your parents and any professionals that needed to come along, and we would chat about what sort of support you need and what can we put in place at Long Road. We would then invite you along to Long Road and we would write up a transition plan for you. So all your support will be written on there. And also it would alert your teachers of what support you might need. And you can read that transition plan through and agree with it. You might want to add to it, take away. We'll work very much with you as a student to put that support in place. And I have a final question about COVID. We're hoping that next September we'll be back on site and we won't have difficulties around COVID having to do virtual and on site, the blended approach which we're doing now. So if that's not the case, then, you know, if we're all here, great. But if there is a difficulty with COVID still, we have screens in our college so students can work with LSAs the other side of the screen, so you don't always have to wear a mask when you're working because the screen can protect you. All members of the department will wear face masks when working with students, but as I say, you may have an exemption from wearing a mask, so in that case you wouldn't need to. We use wipes and hand sanitizers throughout the department, and everything is sanitized throughout the day at various intervals, and if anybody uses anything, that is then sanitized afterwards. And finally, we can only allow a certain number of students into our department at any one time. We have a few different rooms and we've been able to accommodate all our students' needs so far, so that seems okay. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any further questions that weren't answered during this session, please email support@longroad.ac.uk and we will get back to you, or one of our team will answer you. So thank you for listening and thank you to the team for taking part in this session, and we hope you found it useful. Thank you. Bye.